We join you live from the Maryland Softball Stadium. Action in the second inning. We've had some technical difficulties, but Maryland are up 1-0 over Bowie State. Both of these teams playing their second game of the day in a tri-header after some rescheduling from Friday and Saturday. I'm Adam Lipman, joined alongside
Rize Simmons.
And what should be an exciting finale to this weekend's softball action.
Terrapins with a very emphatic win to start off the day. Looking to continue here, already up 1-0, making some good contact early for sure.
Making some good contact, putting pressure on the pitchers. Exactly what you want to see out of the Terrapins. They had a few hours break for that middle game. That was Bowie State versus Maryland Eastern Shore, and Bowie State won that 11-2 in a really commanding fashion. They took control of that game late in the fifth inning. They did not look back. Already trailing 1-0 here, but Bowie State, don't count them out yet. Just because they're not in the Big Ten doesn't mean they can't make a big impact.
Exactly. Every player out here on the field in the preseason just making a good impression, for these coaches here and showing what they got. Every player is going to get an opportunity today, so they're just going to try to make the most of it.
That pitch was fouled back, so still in the pitcher's count here. Bowie State trying to strand a runner at second base. The 1-2 offering sails high against Gracie Wilson. She played in 38 games last year, likely to get some more playing time now in her sophomore season.
Yeah, important part of this Maryland Terrapins squad here, making a big impact as a freshman last season. So I'm excited to see what you can do here in her sophomore year, making that, year one to year two jump.
As the 2-2 is fouled back again, but Rize, this is a completely new team. A lot of transfers, a lot of new players. So for someone who was, on the younger end last year who was struggling to get playing time, this is your prime opportunity. If you seize, a job this year starting on the field, you might be able to hold it for the next 3 seasons.
Exactly, and there's a few players on this Maryland roster who have been able to be a mainstay on this roster, and I think it's important, as somebody who came in, is familiar with the kind of system and what the coach is wanting to see here at Maryland. I think she has a great opportunity to really take advantage of her role here this season.
Definitely, as that pitch goes way outside, so the count runs full on Wilson, trying to drive in the game's second run of the day, runner off second base. Bowie State still have a lot of energy. They're playing back-to-back games with only a half-hour break in the middle. And that's a big swing and a miss, the high fastball. 2 away now. Maryland try and get something going this inning. They scored back in the first. Can they do it again in the second?
Great pitch there from the Bulldogs. Looks like she just fell a little behind that one. That one, it was exactly where she was looking. Went from low to high in the zone. She wasn't able to make any contact.
Maryland will send up another hitter to the plate. This Terrapin shows bunt, but pulls it back. Throw down to third. Tag. Got her.
Yeah.
So a missed execution there on the squeeze play gets Bowie State out of the inning. They hold Maryland to nothing, stranding a runner at second. And we will head into the top of the third, a 1-0 ball game here in College Park. We're back for Maryland softball here in the top of the third. Maryland lead Bowie State 1-0. Anna McGowan on the mound, trying to protect this Terp lead.
First time seeing Anna McGowan here in the Terrapins uniform. Played her last 3 seasons at NC State. So one of the many new faces on this Maryland team. They definitely hit the transfer portal this offseason.
As that ball will sail out, but you're right. They have brought in some highly regarded seniors, graduate students, and juniors to fill out this roster as they're almost in a sense of transition, trying to figure out who is going to be some of the next great players for Maryland softball that are currently freshmen or sophomores. So back in the box, 1-0 here. First batter of the inning. Bowie State haven't strung much together so far today as that pitch will sail outside again and low. And there is potentially going to be mound visit, but McGowan will call them off.
And, coming into a preseason game like this, coming off a game that you just played, Bowie State really just looking to stay competitive, against a Big Ten team. Never count a team out, obviously, but definitely going to be a challenge for them today, but they are very looking the part so far.
So hitters count now. And you're right, Bowie State have played really well here considering that this is not somewhere that they're too familiar with. Maryland are an out-of-conference opponent. The 2-1 from McGowan. And the lefty's pitch will sail high. And another potential mound visit, or looks like they're trying to give her the game plan here. Infield shifted back. Playing for a hard-hit ground ball looking up the middle, as that will go low again. So it'll be a leadoff walk for Bowie State, and the tying run is now on base.
Yeah, definitely just want to be able to control your pitches there if you're McGowan. Never want to walk the leading runner, but that's what happened here, looking to get ahead on this next batter.
Walks can be deadly for this softball team, especially considering that they ranked in the bottom of the Big Ten for walks. So Bowie State will send up another hitter. Bowie State electing to wear their practice shirts as uniforms today, as the first pitch will go way high. Runner dances off first, but she will stay there. Wind not blowing particularly in any direction as the 1-0 comes in and is lined right at first. They try and turn the double play, but back to the base is the runner.
Yeah, heads up play there by the junior Maria Penta, making a quick play on the ball.
So, we saw last game when Bowie State were playing UMES. UMES had some really poor defense at times, and especially big situations that allowed what could have just been 1 or 2 runs to balloon. As the first pitch from McGowan will go low and inside as the lefty hitter tried to bunt. Bowie State know that they're not going to be generating too many runs against this Maryland pitching staff, so we are likely to see some bunts and small ball. The bunt is being laid down again. Pulled back and weakly tapped to third, throws to second, and they'll just take the out there. It was bobbled, and the transfer could not be completed, but 2 outs and just a runner on first.
Yeah, third baseman there, Maddie Benson. 44 starts last season. Familiar face there on the corner base.
One of the main familiar faces in this infield, she and Sammy Woods, are likely to be manning the left side for much of the regular season. Woods was in a timeshare last year. That first pitch will go on the outside edge. Some nice framing there by Maryland. Already 1 strike, and McGowan 2 pitches away from getting out of this inning unscathed.
Well done by McGowan, bouncing back here.
That will be fouled right back again. So not much quality contact so far. A lot of weak chopped balls on the ground or just off the end of the bat foul. So for McGowan, it's not that she's been lucky. It's just trying to avoid, contact up the middle will certainly be a goal. And that will be weakly popped in the air, and Penta will take it. So that's a quick inning for Maryland, who will keep their 1-0 lead as we prepare for the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third here. Maryland still lead this game 1-0. They scored their run back in the first, and Bowie State will take the mound once again. Pitcher trying to get signs from the dugout, and she's ready to go. Her first pitch will be fouled right back. So something interesting we learned between innings, Rize, is there are completely different numbers for this Maryland team. So they're wearing numbers, but it's not going to be their numbers during the season.
Yes.
So, it's everyone gets to impersonate someone else today.
Right. You know what they say, you got to earn the in-season uniform. That's what they say. At least that's how it was in high school for football,
well, first they have to work on making them.
Exactly.
So already 0-1. That will find the outside edge. Nice framing there. Quickly 2 strikes on this Maryland hitter.
Bowie State definitely making an effort to hit those outside corners so far early in this game. Definitely don't want to give up any easy balls right down the middle.
The 0-2 sails away again. No chase there, but you're right, Rize, that they're trying to get weak contact from right-handed hitters, and going outside is a nice way to do that because, in softball there's a lot of inside discipline. It's hard to really get tied up, like you might see in baseball in an inside pitch. So it's all about working up and down, as that will be fouled off again. But really up and down and then away are how most pitchers find outs against righties.
Pitcher looking to get some signs there from the dugout.
Everyone's still learning them in the preseason. And her 1-2 will be fouled right back again, just off the end of the bat.
Tough at-bat here for the Terrapins. Couple of foul balls, just keeping that bat alive.
Maryland have a slim 1-0 lead already here in the third. Tries her sign. The 1-2 again will be skied into center. Center fielder under it, and she will make the catch. One away.
Yeah, definitely saw contact there. Just went right to the center fielder. Bowie State probably going to want to try stay away from that pitch spot here in the future. Got lucky there.
I mean, we saw last game Bowie State were taking advantage by just going to the right center field alley against UMES. So that'll just be something to monitor how the outfielders are shaded. Right now, they're just playing true to their position, straight up the middle, in left and then in right. But we might have to see if a shift will be put on for the lefties. First pitch will be low.
And for the Terrapin attack here, a lot of space in the middle, right by second base there. So looking for some solid contact just to hit right back up the middle.
You're right that they are leaving the middle open. They're shading the shortstop towards third. Third baseman hugging the bag. The 1-0. Run outside and low again. This Bowie State pitcher looks like she's trying to get Maryland to react to her, not really go after these hitters, afraid of damage contact in the zone. The 2-0 is fouled right back again.
Yeah, as you said before, Bowie State definitely just pushing it against those right-handed batters, just really trying to get it and paint the corners. Maryland doing a good job, just fouling them off, waiting for their pitch.
Question will be if Maryland can start squaring up the ball. Damage contact as the 2-1 comes in, and it will sail low. That changeup, too much bite too early. 3-1 now. There seems to be an ongoing confusion as it looks like a piece of green paper is being held up as a signal. The 3-1 will find the outside edge again. This catcher doing a nice framing job for Bowie State, stealing these outside strikes.
That's exactly what they are looking for. Great job by the catcher there, as you said, framing it up, getting the strike, getting the count to 3-2.
The full count payoff will be fouled off again, just on the inside part of the bat. A pitch you have to swing at, in 3-2 when it's that close to the zone, but not much quality contact can be taken from that.
A couple long at-bats early in this game for the Terrapins. Something that's a valuable skill throughout the entire season.
Payoff again. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string and a strikeout swinging. 2 away in the inning.
Bowie State very excited after that strikeout. Looked like the pitcher almost surprised herself. Very surprised expression, but that was a great pitch there. And after, a long at-bat, she's able to get the strikeout.
And we saw there was, a lot of talk about the signs and figuring out from the catcher and from the dugout, and it eventually pays off there with the strikeout. So now trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. First pitch will find the outside edge that time. That was a serious frame job.
And you can see now a lefty in the box. Bowie State still just going after that opposing batting box side.
The 0-1 to the lefty hitter is weakly popped in the air to left. Left fielder breaks in, and she will make the running catch to set down the side. So Maryland go down 1-2-3, and we'll head to the top of the fourth. Terps still up 1-0 against Bowie State. We're back for the top of the fourth. Bowie State back up to hit, and Lenski on the mound. As her second pitch will sail low, 2-0, and get some encouragement from the infield.
The Bowie State dugout has really been bringing the energy all day long.
Well, they're looking to pull off a preseason upset. So only all the energy they can get as the 2-0 does find the zone for the first strike of the inning.
Lenski donning number 20 here in the preseason as opposed to her in-season 88.
And that's weakly grounded past the third baseman and past the shortstop into left field. So a miscommunication there, went off the glove of the shortstop, and that will be first base run of the inning for Bowie State. Also the tying run.
Yeah, shortstop's going to want that one back. Not a particularly hard hit ball, but just able to dribble between her legs and find its way into the outfield.
Rize, I would call that an E6 there. That's a play that the shortstop has to make. First pitch to this batter is popped up foul. It'll go out of play right above the press box. It was interesting that Bowie State, once they have a runner on, they immediately go into bunt mode. The danger is if they don't get it on these first two pitches, they're in a two-strike hole, and then you have to try and start an at-bat from there. That's not easy to do. Corners come in. Middle infield goes back. Double play depth. The 0-1 to the Bowie State hitter is bunted foul again, so now we'll have to see. Will the sign still be on?
Yeah, Bowie State, not a huge slugging team, so they're definitely, like you said earlier, going to be playing some small ball today. Definitely a crucial moment for them with no outs and someone on first base. A good opportunity them to make some noise here in the fourth.
The 0-2, swing and a miss at a pitch by the eyes. When you dig yourself into a hole like that by bunting, it's hard to find your way out, and Olensky makes sure she doesn't.
Yeah, and this Maryland team is very excited about Olinsky. Transferred from Nebraska, played her first 2 years there. Had a season-ending injury in her first year, so just looking to get her career back on track here in College Park.
Academic All-Big Ten member last year. First pitch of this right-handed hitter goes outside. But Maryland are certainly looking to replenish their pitching staff. They are returning some important members, namely breakout freshman from last year, Aubrey Wurst, as the Terps will have a mound visit. But this is a Maryland team that really struggled with walks last season, and the pitching really took them out of a lot of games that could have been winnable, especially in conference. So trying to find pitchers that can command in the zone, and especially someone like Olinsky who has Big Ten experience, could be what they need to make a bigger push this season.
Right, in such a talented, loaded Big Ten conference, the biggest thing that you're going to need from your pitching staff is that consistency. Every team in the Big Ten has some very solid hitters. A lot of power is found as well. So you got to keep those strikes in the zone.
And that strike was a swing and a miss. The back pick to first was not in time. So count evened up at 1 apiece on this right-handed hitter. Looks to have some more power. I believe she had a double earlier against Eastern Shore. The 1-1 will not get the call. That's a framing difference right there. That call has been going Bowie State's way all game.
Certainly.
And Maryland do not pick it up this time. So now hitters count. Runner off first. That's the tying run. The 2-1 is weakly popped up to second. The play will be made. Throw back to first, not in time. 2 away now.
3 pop-ups so far over to that right side of the infield. Bowie State just looking to make some more solid contact.
So Olinsky brings an interesting arm slot as the lefty. Her stuff is not biting as much, but hitters are expecting it to more as that pitch is fouled right back. So they're almost swinging under it and letting themselves pop it up because most of these Bowie State hitters don't have the power to really drive a ball like that into the outfield gaps. The 0-1 is popped up again. Benson over, but it'll sail out of play. Yeah. What looks like a well-attended game for a preseason matchup, right, Rize?
I would say lots of people here in the stands. Fantastic weather, a beautiful evening here at the stadium. So great Sunday afternoon to watch some softball.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Olinsky 1 pitch away from getting through another scoreless inning. And time will be called at the plate. She deals way outside. A nice block there by the catcher. A wild pitch there puts a runner in scoring position and a lot more pressure on Olinsky, so that's a crucial stop. And we'll do it again on 1-2. She'll deal, and it'll be fouled right back. Again, swinging under, sending it right back behind the plate. So you have to wonder, eventually, will hitters make the adjustment that they maybe need to swing 1 ball higher than they would expect?
Right, always a chess match between the batter and hitter.
As that will be weakly grounded foul, first base side.
And Olinsky so far has had pretty good control of her stuff, not allowing a lot of solid contact here. Bowie State just drawing another long at bat.
The 1-2 again will go just outside, and these misses, for the most part, have been competitive pitches. There's a difference between, a pitch sailing out and the catcher lunging for it, or it obviously, maybe not even making it to the plate, versus these, which are, at least towards the zone, and a hitter could realistically chase. We'll do it again on 2-2, and that'll be fouled back yet again, swinging underneath.
Back-to-back pitches right there in the same location. That time they swung at it. Just another foul behind the catcher.
So Olinsky trying to find a whiff this at-bat. After she got a strikeout swing earlier, the 2-2 again, fouled off. Swinging under. will this hitter make an adjustment? That's what we have yet to see.
Yeah, you know, if you're Lunsky, you got to have your best stuff here. Batter's seen a lot of pitches from you, so you definitely want to make sure you get it in the right location.
This is a Maryland team last year that struggled with putting away hitters on 2 strikes. An improvement there would be massive for their season. The 2-2 again will be taken low. That changeup bit too early. And the count runs full with a chance of putting a Bowie State runner into scoring position.
Yeah, the Bulldogs definitely making Olinsky work for it here.
Full count payoff. Will go outside. Won't get the call. It'll be a walk. Runners now on first and second. The tying run at second. And Bowie State will send up another righty.
So we're in a bit of maybe a mound visit here.
Trying to reset, figure out how they want to shade this infield. Are they still... They're going to try and go in, worry about the bunt play possibly. Even with 2 outs, if you can hustle, that's a worthwhile attempt.
Exactly.
So they won't rush in. Looks like the corners, especially at first, might. That first pitch will be grounded off Olensky towards second. Flip to first. In time. Got her. Throw back to third, not in time. But that'll do it for the inning. So Maryland get out of it unscathed, stranding 2 runners, and we'll send it to the bottom of the 4th. Terps still up 1-0. We're back for the bottom of the 4th. Maryland still up 1-0 after they escaped a Bowie State attempt to drive in the tying run. Send up number 33. The number is different in the preseason, so this might be the real 33 or a fake 33. This is the real one. We've just gotten confirmation. So that first pitch will be grounded weakly, and just as we confirmed her identity, she's out on 1 pitch.
This was the sophomore Taylor Borovac. And it's confirmed we have another real number here at the plate. Maddie Benson.
This is Maryland's returning 3rd baseman. She had a strong season last year. First pitch to the Ohio native is weakly grounded to second. Flip to first. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Bowie State working quickly. Exactly what you need to do when you want to get those bats back up as they're trying to tie this game.
Yeah, pitcher finding her groove here. Very efficient. Gloves in the infield have been consistent, making the right play. Getting it to first base for the out, and Terps finding themselves in a little bit of trouble here in the middle.
They'll try and avoid a 1-2-3 inning here. Sign received. First pitch, low and inside. So it won't be 3 pitches this inning. We'll have a little bit more than that.
Not sure if it was a miss there, but one of the first times that we've seen Bowie State try to attack the inside part of the plate. We'll see if they might start switching it up here.
1-0 is lined over second and into right for a base hit. Ball is bobbled out there, but the runner will hold it first. A 2-out single stops a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, great job by number 27 there, making great contact with a pitch that was right in the heart of the plate. And that's what you got to do with those pitches, that she is able to drive it over to right field.
So Maryland have a runner on first as they're trying to build on their one-run lead. Bowie State's righty pitcher gets set. Her first offering is popped up sky high. Second baseman shades under it, and she will make the catch. So a quick inning for Bowie State, who will send their bats right back up and will head to the top of the fifth. Maryland still up 1-0. Top of the fifth now. Caitlin Olensky still on the mound as she will work to protect Maryland's one-run lead. Bowie State worked a quick bottom of the fourth to set Maryland down, and Olensky's first pitch will be right down the middle for a called strike.
Olensky looking to get quick inning from herself. Last inning, Bowie State got a little traffic on the bases, were able to extend at bats.
So the 0-1 will be taken low. That bit too early, no chase. Count evens up, but you're right, Rize, that she was struggling with a two-strike put away, and we'll have to see if an improvement can be made this inning because that allowed Bowie State to work some traffic and see more pitches. The 1-1 will be fouled off, first base side.
Early in this at-bat here, Olensky looking to attack the hitters, making sure that's either a strike or they swing at it.
So pitcher's count now. New Jersey native on the mound, originally at Nebraska, comes a bit closer to home, now at Maryland. The 1-2 will sail high. That's arguably her biggest miss of the day, over the head of this hitter.
And I think it's useful having a Big Ten transfer coming in, somebody who's familiar with some of the hitters and opponents that you're going to be seeing all season long.
And that is lined hard into center, but the catch will be made, ran down, and already one out. But you know, she made a bit of Nebraska history as a freshman. She became the first freshman pitcher to start a Big Ten opener for Nebraska, which is a big accomplishment no matter, you know, what was going on with that team, just to leapfrog any of the other sophomores, juniors, seniors, graduate students. Second batter of the inning will check swing, and it'll just be called the strike anyway. Maryland are trying to return to the top of the Big Ten standings. The 0-1 will be low again.
And, you know, here for manager Lauren Karn and her team, they're just trying to find some footing here within conference play. I think they do pretty well in non-conference. As we see a pitch there go way inside. But, just finding their footing in the Big Ten, staying competitive so, they have a chance to get into the tournament at the end of the season.
That will certainly be the goal for this upcoming spring. The 1-2 taken high, checked again. So that swing reaction might make Olensky try and go for a chase outside the zone instead of filling it up. She's in a 2-strike count. We'll have to see if she can make an adjustment after last inning. Her pitch will be weakly fouled off. Almost a swinging bunt there. And we'll do it again.
And again, Bowie State just doing a great job extending these at-bats, just giving themselves a chance, finding a pitch. Made some of the first saw contact here earlier this inning, just wasn't able to find a gap.
We were talking about conference versus non-conference. They were 15-12 last season in non-conference play, but in conference things got very tough. 3-19, and you can really, it sounds a little, simple to say that if they can fix the walks allowed, their ceiling will go up so high. That has been what's plagued them. They've really struggled in conference with walks. The 2-2 again, a big swing and a miss. Pulled the string early, and Olensky gets the swing and strikeout. 2 away now.
Yeah, that was definitely not a walk. Fantastic pitch there from Olensky, exactly where she wanted it. High and outside, batter was not able to make any contact with that one.
So 2 outs. Bowie State trying to keep this inning going. The bunt will be laid down, but it will be pulled back. She'll charge, and it'll just be a called strike. So wasted opportunity there. That was a hittable pitch.
Yeah, they're going to look back at that one. Probably wanted to swing there.
The 0-1 rushes again, but it'll be inside. So now you have to think, if she's rushed towards the mound twice, can you get away with a middle pitch that isn't quite good just because this hitter might not swing? And a big cut there on the changeup inside. So 1-2 now. Olensky trying to get back-to-back strikeouts to close this first half of the 5th.
Big pitch here.
Shows bunt again, and it will be taken low and inside. So still no real competitive swings here, and Olensky might just have to stay on the attack, not get worried about the bunt, especially with 2 strikes, because it's hard to get your first bunt in play. The 2-2. Weakly chopped it back to Olensky. She'll flip it to first in time. A 1-2-3 inning, and Maryland are still up 1-0 as we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the fifth, Maryland still up 1-0, and Bowie State will make a call to their bullpen. This reliever just pitched a little over an hour ago against Eastern Shore. She retired all 9 that she faced, and that will be immediately lined down the right field line into the corner for extra bases. Heading into second and stopping there is the leadoff hitter, and Maryland already have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, and the reliever was having a great day heading up to this first pitch there, right on the inside, took advantage of it, able to belt it out to right field.
Hardest hit and best pulled contact of the day so far for either team, and Maryland will elect to go with a pinch runner here. So Benson will come in to pinch run. Maryland trying to double their lead. A slim 1-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch bunted, and it's a good one. Bobbled by the third baseman. It'll skip away, and she'll reach. An infield single there gives Maryland runners on the corners. Throw back to the pitcher. Cut off by the third baseman. But Maryland have something brewing quickly.
Yeah, and the hardest part of bunting is just getting that bunt down the first play. She was able to get into the field to play. Third baseman bobbled it a few times, and she had the speed to get to first base.
So Bowie State will have a little meeting on the mound with the infield to figure out how they want to shift this. Do they want to try and get the out at the plate? Do they want to play back for the double play? Those are some questions they're going to have to figure out right now. As 2 pitches in, they're already in their biggest trouble since the first. I believe this is Caitlin Cornwell. It looks like Caitlin Cornwell is at the plate. Runners on first and third, still nobody out. The first pitch to her is grounded past the third baseman and into left field. A run will score. It's an RBI single for Cornwell, and Maryland are now up 2-0.
Yeah, third year here in Maryland for Cornwell. 97 appearances in those first 2 seasons. So somebody that they're going to be relying on, and a great play there just to slap it right down that line.
And she has game-changing speed. She's had that the past 2 years, coming in as a pinch runner a lot. So if they can get out of her bat, will be a surplus, as that's grounded past the second baseman, who can't pick it on the scoop. Around third and coming in will be another run. The ball is thrown away. Cornwell hustles home, and she will score. Heading to third is the hitter. So some defensive miscues for Bowie State turned it into a 4-0 ball game here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, and that's just something that Bowie State cannot afford with the speed on the bases that Maryland had right there. Both runners able to come home.
Now, I think I would call that an E4 by the second baseman, because that was a botched scoop. She was well positioned, but that'll only just change RBI credit. Regardless, Maryland are pouring it on. This is a reversal of fortune. Bowie State were doing this to Eastern Shore, just adding on, starting in the fifth and not looking back. Maryland are poised to do that. And earlier today, they crushed Eastern Shore 19-0, right?
Yeah, 19-0. As you said, they obviously scoring 19 runs, lots of good contact, lots of great at-bats. And that's what it's all about. That's how you're going to get those runs. You just string a few solid at-bats together, and you're able to produce.
And this is a team that likes to play small ball and, hit to contact. They're not, your typical slugging squad. So this is exactly how, the best innings will go for them this season, relying on speed, heads-up base running, and just putting the ball in play, seeing what can happen. So after another mound visit, still nobody out, a runner off third. Maryland trying to add on, already 3 runs here in the bottom half of the fifth. First pitch will be high and inside.
Yeah, Bowie State just continuing to leave that central part of the infield open here. Terrapins have been able to make some solid contacts here, just looking to hit it right up the middle, as they did a few times.
That'll be fouled off. Count evens up at 1 apiece now, and so that would be an E4 and an E9 on the last play, because the right fielder's throw allowed Cornwell to advance from third to home. Got by towards the Maryland dugout. But this pitcher earlier today, when she was fresher, 9 up, 9 down against Eastern Shore, so definitely a surprise. The 1-1 pitch will not get the outside call. So a hitter's count now.
And that's what's interesting about, a sport like this. Just every batter's got their own approach. It's different from at-bat to at-bat.
And the call will not come for the Bowie State catcher this time. She'll check back with the umpire to see what's going on, and call will stand. 3-1 now. Bowie State still looking for their first out of the inning. The pitch is skied into left, coming in, and it will drop between the left fielder and shortstop. Another run will score, and a bloop single makes it 5-0 Terps.
Hey, an RBI is an RBI. Definitely not the strongest contact there, but just found a spot of green grass.
That's just the sweet spot. And it's certainly interesting that the Bowie State outfield, they're playing so deep. You would think that they would want to take at least 2 more steps back. I would say they're a good 8 steps from the wall, which Maryland have not been slugging the ball particularly. So it's just an interesting approach as that first pitch will go outside.
Yeah, if you're going to play like that, you're definitely going to have to be able to have the ability to come up and make a good play on those singles. Weren't able to come up with one there.
The 1-0 is lined right at the shortstop. Throw back to second. They'll turn 2. So Bowie State take a little bit of momentum back. A nice play there, and they catch Maryland lagging at first. So now 2 outs. And Borovac up to the plate.
Yeah, and after some defensive struggles there leading up to the runs, that was a great play there by the shortstop. Quick throw to get it over the first base for the double play.
First pitch to Borovac is skied into left center. Left fielder giving chase, and she will make the catch. So Bowie State get out of the inning, but not before Maryland put on 4 more runs. They'll have a 5-run lead as we head to the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th, and Maryland will make another call to their bullpen. Coming in now is the sophomore Aubrey Wurst, trying to hold on to this 5-run lead as Maryland look for the doubleheader sweep. First pitch there, a big swing and a miss.
And you can make an argument that she is the best pitcher on this roster last year. 7-3 record, 46 innings pitched. As a freshman, it's pretty impressive.
The 0-1, big swing and a miss there. We know that the stuff is real. It's just the question comes to command. She had 42 walks and 52 strikeouts last season. That strikeout number, exactly what Maryland need, but the walks, if she can cut them, let's say in half, she might be one of the best pitchers in the Big Ten. We'll go outside, 1-2.
Yeah, and as we touched on before, in terms of conference play, big thing you're looking for is just that consistency within the circle. And, if she's able to bring that to the Terrapins, she can be very dangerous.
And another swing and a miss. So a strikeout will start off her day. And Wurst had some exciting moments last season, including a 10 strikeout performance. one of the best by a softball freshman in program history. So Bowie State will send up their second hitter, trying to start a comeback here, down by 5. First pitch will not get the call.
Yeah, you see that pitch had some good action there. Great job by the Bowie State batter holding off.
The 1-0 will be right down the middle for a strike, but it's especially interesting that worst real issue is just with walks. Opposing hitters hit .215 against her, which is one of the best. It was the best batting average against on Maryland's roster last year. As that won't find the zone, we'll go outside, counting out 2-1, but you know, this is a pitcher who has the arsenal. She has the stuff to get hitters out and get whiffs, which is especially important with 2 strikes. It's just, can she remain in the count, throw first pitch strikes, as she'll get a big cut there, a nasty changeup. Count evens up at 2.
Yeah, and that pitch just perfectly displays the kind of stuff that she has right there. Pitcher, great pitch there. Batter, not even a chance to make contact with that one.
The 2-2. Popped up sky high. Shortstop calling for it. She'll take it right over the second base bag. 2 away. So last season, Worst had 10 strikeouts in a 5-inning complete game against Maryland Eastern Shore last April. She was notably better at home last season than on the road, as her first pitch will be skied into right, shading back and making the play. Will be a Terp outfielder, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Worst, so she looks like she's picked up right where she left off last season, and Maryland will take it to the bottom of the 6th, as they'll try and add on to their 5-run lead. Bottom of the 6th, Maryland up 5-0 after Aubrey Worst's 1-2-3 inning, and an exciting moment of this preseason. Maddie Benson stepping up to the plate again against the Bowie State reliever, who has been struggling more today than previously, but her defense has not helped. 2 errors last inning helped fuel Maryland's 4-run rally as that first pitch runs inside, almost plunks Benson.
And Benson brings a good versatility out here for the Terps. She has good speed on the bases, and even though she has been a mainstay over at third base, she has the ability to play the other spots in the infield.
And that's important for a Maryland team, trying to figure out who is going to start where, who's going to get playing time. Having that flexibility with Benson surely is a valuable resource. So 2-0. Bowie State still fired up, even though they do have work to do. And that pitch will get the call on the outside edge. That's been something that's been up and down for this Bulldogs team, getting those calls from their catcher. And they do there, but still a hitter's count for Benson. And a big swing and a miss at a pitch by the ankles. Nothing she could do there, completely fooled by the change.
Yeah, best pitch we've seen on the night for the Bulldog pitcher.
So 2-2, trying to get a quick first out of the inning. Is that a run inside again? Almost identical to the first pitch of this at-bat. The count will run full. In danger of walking the leadoff hitter. Allowing the leadoff hitter to reach was crucial for Maryland's rally last inning.
And a different approach within the circle here, attacking. And for the most part, they had been staying away from the outside pitch until that ball there.
So that ball outside will walk Benson. And Maryland have the leadoff hitter reach again. So there are 2 more games on Maryland's preseason schedule. They'll play Army, and then they will play Howard at home for their final home preseason game on October 10th. And that first pitch will get the call outside, and the throw back to the pitcher is a bad one. It'll skip into center, but Benson will just stay at first.
Well, it looked like a bit of miscommunication there. Pitcher thought it was going to second base. Second base thought it was going to the pitcher.
It's never a situation you want to be in, especially during the season when someone could, if there's a runner on third, they're going to bolt home. Regardless, the 0-1 is bunted foul. Benson had broken for a second. It looks like a hit and run was on there. And the throw will skip away again. Not picked by the first baseman, who puts her hand on her chest to say it's her fault, because that was not a bad, that wasn't the best throw ever by the catcher, but certainly one that could be picked. So 0-2, runner off first. Terps trying to add on to their 5-0 lead. The pitch from the Bowie State reliever is lined to second, but they will not turn 2 like they did last inning. 1 out.
Yeah, and the shift working quite well here for Bowie State. They've kept the second baseman and the shortstop. They're shading more towards the line, and it went right to her on that play.
So Maryland will head to Williamsport for that Army game, which should be an exciting one. First pitch, sky high to right. Outfielder under it. She'll make the catch. Benson back to first.
Coming into this one, quite frankly, probably, expecting to see a little more offensive production here for the Terps. They, outside of that one inning where they really were able to put those at-bats together, capitalizing off of the Bowie State defensive errors. Outside of that, they haven't really had a lot going offensively.
Playing a lot of small ball today, struggling to string it together, as that first pitch will not find the zone. But that's the trade-off when you don't want to go for big power, try and get balls to the wall and in the gaps. You have to rely on a lot of hitters being successful at the same time, which is a model that can work, but it's certainly troubling to rely on all the time. The 1-0 will be inside. Looks like that was a missed spot. The catcher had to lunge over. It looked like it was in the zone, but just when the catcher lunges over, the umpire won't view it as a strike. So 2-0, Benson still off first. And that will go low again, so not attacking here. Looks like they're not afraid to just put her on with a walk.
Interesting style there from Bowie State, especially with Benson's speed. Definitely don't want to put her there on second base.
And that will be skied into left. Left fielder breaks in, and she will make the catch. So a quick inning for Bowie State, who will send it to the top of the 7th as they look to make a comeback. Terps trying to close out a doubleheader sweep. They're up 5-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. We're back for the top of the 7th. Maryland looking to close out what could be a 5-0 win. Aubrey Wurst returns to the mound for her second inning of work, and we were talking last inning about how she's had a lot more success at home, which is interesting because for a lot of Maryland pitchers, the split will be in reverse. They'll struggle more at home but do better on the road. For Wurst, she only allowed 4 earned runs in 16 innings at home last season, and all those 4 came in the last game of the year against Penn State, or her last game of the year. First pitch, the Bowie State hitter finds the inside part of the zone for a strike. But when you can have someone that can step it up at home, especially when you've got the crowd on your side, and you're very familiar with the venue, that's so important. And she's arguably the best pitcher at home for Maryland. The 0-1 outside to even the count.
See that pitch there just getting a little bit away from her.
Now, walks were an issue. I mean, as the year progressed, her command struggled more. She'll deal on 1-1, and it'll be popped up sky high. Catcher not over there in time to make the play. So 1-2, but you know, she had multiple, 3 out of her last 4 games last season, she had 3 walks. She did have 4 walks against Delaware in 5 scoreless innings, so she'll just have to work on that because there has been a little bit of luck involved to have such a high strand rate. But she'll deal on 1-2, and it'll float to the top of the zone. Won't get a call. Count evens up. It's just the question is, when we know she has such great stuff, is there a way to avoid playing with fire as much and just find quicker outs? 2-2 sails out again.
Very good question there, because obviously with the kind of stuff that she has, she's able to create that swing and miss, but also want to make sure you're putting strikes in the zone so you're not finding yourself in upside down counts.
Full count payoff is weakly grounded to second. The throw over to first in time. 1 away.
That's exactly what you like to see there. Grounded right over to the second baseman, able to make a play on the ball, right to first base. The exchange very smooth there.
The second hitter of the inning for Bowie State. Trying to mount any kind of a comeback. First pitch from Wurst. Right down the middle for a called strike.
She's had a couple of those. If you're Bowie State, probably want to be aggressive early in the zone and be able to jump on a pitch right in the middle of the zone like that.
So that pitch will go outside, but you're right, the Bowie State do need to be more aggressive, especially when they can have a bit of a tell that Wurst is not going to, go outside for a whiff on the first pitch. And that'll be weakly fouled off the hitter. 1-2. But last year, to open the first homestand of the season, she had 9 scoreless innings across 2 starts, both Maryland wins, the first against Colgate, the second against Delaware. She had 7 strikeouts, but the problem is she had 6 walks, which is just a dangerous game to be playing.
And as you said, the Maryland team, they win when she is the one pitching. 7-3 last season. Very impressive record.
That's 7 out of 18 wins. Pretty impressive for a freshman pitcher. The 1-2 will float in and will not get the call. Maryland's bench surprised, but now we'll just run even.
She's had a couple of those pitches sitting there right on top of the zone.
The 2-2 trying to get the strikeout. It'll be fouled right back again.
And, the last time up, this Bulldogs hitter had a long at bat, battling back and forth, and here she is doing it again.
So Bowie State trying to fight to stay in this game. They're looking for a doubleheader sweep as well, which they'll have their work to do. 2 outs remaining, 5 runs needed. The 2-2, big swing and a miss. Wurst fired up. And Maryland 1 out away from sweeping this doubleheader.
Yeah, and that was the swing and miss pitch that she had been looking for. Great execution there, right outside the plate. Batter wasn't able to reach it and was behind. That would be a strikeout every time.
First pitch taken for a strike. Worst has been sharper this inning with her first pitch strikes. So 0-1 now. Her delivery high and outside. The release very off there. But the count will even up. Bowie State trying to give as much energy as they can from the bench as this game nears its end. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss. Way out in front. And Worst is one strike away from ending this ball game.
Yeah, you could argue that this was the best inning so far for Worst here. You could really see her pitch is on full display.
The 1-2. Big swing and a miss. Worst fired up. She closes out this game, and Maryland close out this preseason doubleheader with a big sweep. The first against Eastern Shore, the second here against Bowie State. They remain undefeated at home this preseason, and they'll have 2 more games to close it out, as it looks like the bottom of the 7th will not be played. Teams are both lining up, so that will do it here in College Park. Maryland win 5-0 on some strong pitching and nice situational hitting, particularly in the 5th inning. But an exciting way to start the preseason for Maryland. Hopefully the coaching staff are learning exactly what they need to about these players to be ready to go in the spring. But an exciting win. What do you think is the most impactful part of this game, Rize?
You know, I think today was a great model for how this Terrapins team is going to try to win games throughout the season. As you said, they're not going to come in slugging, hitting a bunch of home runs. It's about that situational hitting. It's about deciding how you're going to want to assemble, 1 through 9 to be able to make sure that those hot hitters are hitting together. They had that 4th inning capitalize on the defensive errors from Bowie State. And then in terms of pitching, it's all about control. I know we've said it a lot, but when it comes to the walks, there has to be less walks. Maryland did a pretty good job today keeping balls in the zone, not letting Bowie State just get on base with those walks, and obviously Worst finishing it off with the last couple of innings, showing why she is the best pitcher on this staff.
She faced 6, she retired 6, and it's an exciting win for Maryland, who will head to Williamsport, Pennsylvania to take on Army this weekend. And then they will come back home on October 10th for their final game of the preseason against Howard. That will, I believe, be a 6 p.m. start. Yes, that will be a 6 p.m. start for that Friday game. This Saturday, they'll take on Army. So, from us here at WMUC Sports, after a thrilling win, I'm Adam Lipman.
Along with Rize Simmons.
For an exciting Maryland softball game. Have a great night, everybody.